to start this morning off, we have a powerhouse, Alex Ritchie. Alex is beginning her master's program in healthcare administration, and she has a bachelor's degree in biomedical engineering. She has chartered and assisted in the development of several Rotaract clubs across the East Coast. She is currently a Rotaract chair, serves as the Zone 33 Innovative Club advocate for her district. She is the think tank chair of the Rotary Zone 33 Foundation team, where her role is to develop training and opportunities for Rotaractors to engage with the Rotary Foundation. She has attended several Rotaract pre-conventions and Rotary International conventions, and the list goes on and on from there. Professionally, Alex currently directs clinical operations for Crossin Medical Practice and is the founder and CEO of DuraSafe, a medical device startup. A lover of all things coffee and wine, Alex's COVID hobby has been to try a different coffee every weekend. That's a lot of caffeine. Welcome, 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 Alex Ritchie.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Marie. Thank you guys so much for having me. It's an honor to be here with you all this morning. I'm just going to screen share one quick moment here. All right. Well, Marie, thank you so much for that introduction, and everyone, thank you so much for the invitation today and for just being here to listen to the message here and hopefully engage in some dynamic question and answers. So aside from the bio that Marie just read for me, I wanted you guys to get to know me a little bit more on a personal level. I never had any history with Rotary before I went into college, never had any family members who were Rotarians, but I really found Rotary, or rather I should say Rotary found me at a really significant time of transition for me, right before I was about to graduate high school, on the cusp of a little bit of independence there and transition to college. My parents went through a separation. So it was a difficult time, needless to say. And one of the things that I think really saved me from that moment and just kind of, helped me get back on track as a young professional and even just at a personal level was Rotary. Rotary found me when I needed it most, and that avenue was actually through Rotaract. And it was honestly, it was the Rotarians who invested in me. They saw something in me before I truthfully even recognized it myself. And they took the time and the energy to cultivate that as my mentors, and now many of them as my friends. So I share all of that just to say that one of the themes throughout what we'll talk about this morning is that idea of collaboration, friendship, and true and authentic relationship building. So I am a dual member of Rotaract and Rotary here in Richmond, Virginia. So I've been in Rotary for the last 5 years and Rotaract the last 9. It's kind of crazy to say out loud. So I have the opportunity to work on this really fantastic project with many of our Zone 33 and 34 leaders called Ascension Rotaract Network. So this morning, I'll be sharing a little bit about how this opportunity could support you guys as club leaders, as district leaders, and maybe even zone leaders, and how we might work together to support this new elevation of Rotaract and through that, the elevation of Rotary. So with that, we will go ahead and take it away here. So just so you guys know what you've gotten yourselves into this morning, starting over here on the left-hand side, we'll talk through all the basics. We'll go over what exactly is Ascension. I've never heard of this before. No worries, we'll cover every aspect that you need to know. Coming here to the middle, we'll talk about how some of the Ascension principles might aid you in your year as presidents. Also for district zone levels, infrastructure development for successful Rotaract and Rotary relationships. And over here on the far right, we'll talk about some really exciting opportunities for you all, for any of your Rotaract partners, all members of the Rotary family, as we work to continue to elevate Rotaract. So if that sounds like a plan, I just wanted to start with this one sort of mindset. So if you all could just take a second, I know this is kind of a stressful time of transition with COVID-19, but I'd like you, if you could, to just focus on this statement on this slide. We are the Rotary family, and we are in this together. And I just want you to keep this in mind as we walk through each of the subsequent slides ahead, and just think about, in order to truly be one Rotary family, we have to engage our interactors, our Rotaractors, and all Rotarians, in addition to our community partners, our community leaders, and those who may not have found their way to Rotary yet. to make one cohesive, unified Rotary that will remain relevant both now and in the future. And the best way that we can do that is to truly and authentically get to know those we're working with, those we're serving. And this goes a little bit beyond what their classification is or how they might have came to know Rotary, but a little bit more into what drives them, what motivates them, what might their reservations be, and more importantly, how can we work together within each of those parameters to build solutions that we envision together. So just keep that in mind. But to get things started, I promised we would begin with the basics. So if you've never heard of it, I know what you all needed in your life is another Rotary acronym. So that's where we start today. So Ascension Rotaract Network is what is referred to as an MDIO. So that stands for Multi-District Information Organization. It's a mouthful, so I think that's why we go with MDIO. And these organizations truthfully exist all over the Rotary world. So for example, there's a Rotaract in Great Britain and Ireland, a Rotaract Australia, and each of these MDIOs they present a different flavor, but there's one cohesive mission throughout all MDIOs. And that is what you see here on the bottom part of the slide. It really serves to unite Rotaractors and Rotarians as equal partners across zones, across districts, and across clubs to create infrastructure, support network opportunities, and really just the chance to have open and honest dialogue that will hopefully pave the way to collaboration as we look more into this idea of equal partnership. So long story short, it is a way to connect Rotaractors and Rotarians alike across large regions of the Rotary world. And if we look at Ascension a little bit more specifically, our mission, I mentioned each one can kind of be unique from region to region, but when we were first envisioning the development of this organization, we wanted something that was going to provide a support network for both Rotaractors and Rotarians at every level of the organization, whether they be brand new or seasoned Rotarians like yourselves, to utilize in order to effectively serve as Rotary partners together. So this includes everything from providing a platform for training, for leadership education, for dynamic conversations, and for collaboration and empowerment. We kind of do a little bit of everything in that sense. And so I mentioned that these groups exist all over areas of the Rotary world. So our little corner of the Rotary world is zones 28 through 34, which is a little bit of a big corner. So we work with Rotaractors and Rotary partners across all of those districts in those regions. And so to date, we've brought on 19 different districts. We were officially recognized by Rotary International in November of 2019. So it's been a busy year. Also wanted to give you guys the chance to meet our family, so to speak. So the picture over here to your right is our Ascension Rotaract Network leadership team. And one of the things the reason I wanted to show you guys this is one of the things that we did very intentionally when we were envisioning how this organization might serve you, your districts and your clubs. We wanted to make sure we were bringing people in who knew their stuff, right? So we did what we like to call skill set role matching. So in other words, each of our team members that you see here, they have a different area of expertise when it comes to Rotary and Rotaract. So for example, Lydia over here on the top left, her area is really on international relationships with Rotaract, as she's part of a Rotaract e-club. So we brought in people where we think there might be gaps in our understanding of Rotary and Rotaract relationships in order to hopefully help fill some of those. So needless to say, we have a diverse team with very broad experiences that are here, to help guide you through any of your Rotary Rotaract goal development. And so in terms of what we focus on, going back to the idea of each MDIO looking a little bit different, we pulled what we call the pillars of sustainability based on what we've seen in our own Rotary Rotaract journeys. So, for me, when I was talking with you guys at the beginning, mentorship was a key thing for me. I don't know that I would still be in the organization or not even be the person that I am today without the mentorship and support of Rotarians. And when we talk about mentorship, we're talking again about that idea on the second slide of truly getting to know members of the Rotary family. So that is one of our most significant pillars. Everything that we do as an organization to serve you and your clubs follows from these three ideas. So the second one is obviously education. When I first came into any sort of district level role for Rotaract, I really noticed that there was honestly a little bit of a gap in training. You know, there was not a cohesive place for me to learn from or to gather ideas from to see what might have been done successfully before. So Ascension is trying to fill that gap to make sure that you as district leaders and as club leaders are equipped to really begin a journey with Rotaract and Rotary. And last but certainly not least, meaningful opportunities for connection. So I mentioned programs just because I want you guys to understand what you might get out of an experience with Ascension. So each of our programs follows from the 3 pillars we just talked about, but the overarching idea is a simple one. It's really about empowering every individual to sustain the collective network of Rotary. That's what you see here at the top of the slide. So each of our programs, our speakers, every opportunity that we present to members of the Ascension family follows this central theme. So for mentorship, just to cover a couple of highlights, we do have what we call a mentorship match app, which we're really excited about. We worked with a team of computer programmers and computer developers outside of Rotary to develop a matching program. So essentially Rotaractors and Rotarians can go in, fill out a survey that again focuses on getting to know some of those key pieces of personal information that we talked about earlier, and then they're matched with a mentor in certain areas that they may be desiring mentorship. So this has been a really exciting program for us, again, getting back to that idea of the friendship and relationship building. For education, we have a plethora of opportunities. We have a whole virtual website that contains everything from slide decks, promotional flyers, graphics, videos that you can use as club and district leaders to promote Rotary, to promote Rotaract, and to more importantly, promote collaboration. We also do DRR training. So we'll talk about that in a minute, but DRR stands for District Rotaract Representative. So we train district leaders in Rotaract, we train club leaders. We work a lot as well with Rotarians who are just hoping to have a stronger relationship with Rotaract. So we do everything from virtual workshops, conferences, speaker series, and mini problem solving sessions, we like to call them, where a key member of our team will meet with a district or a club leader to work through some of their obstacles related to Rotary and Rotaract. And then last but not least, for connection, we have a really, really amazing opportunity upcoming this May in partnership with Rotary International President Holger. So I will not spoil that. I will save that for the end, but that is our big opportunity to have international and regional level connections. So I wanted to kind of go into a little bit about what might be most valuable for you all as incoming leaders. And I will say one of the biggest questions that we get about Rotaract, about having a successful relationship between Rotaract and Rotary is, what do we do at the district level? What do we do at the club level to make this possibility? So we'll start over here, and on the left-hand side, one of the things that's really key for us to consider is the development of a district Rotaract committee. So very similar to your public image committee, your foundation committee, Rotaract with the recent elevation and all of the council and legislation changes that we'll talk about momentarily have really, really called this need for having district level infrastructure. And the idea is by having district level leaders in place to give a voice to Rotaract and to really help elevate Rotaract through having a meaningful relationship with Rotary, we see the need to have that body exist. In addition, having committee bodies is so super important when we're looking at Rotaract success. For your district Rotaract committee, Rotary International does recommend that it be comprised of equal numbers of Rotaractors and Rotarians working together. And their mission is quite simple. It is to support you all as Rotarians and your future and current Rotaractors with district level programming that's going to meet their needs. So naturally we come into, well, we need Rotaract and Rotary clubs working together. So, a big part of that from the district standpoint is pulling out what might be the obstacles to Rotary and Rotaract successful relationships in your district. What are those areas of challenge, areas of opportunities, areas of growth that our district team might be able to address and help our clubs overcome? Now, it's important to note, you'll see here at the bottom, there are 2 types of Rotaract clubs, right? So there are university and community-based. So what they are is kind of in the name, but our university clubs are centered around some sort of academic institution, whereas our community-based clubs function a little bit more closely to what we might think of when we think of our own Rotary clubs. So they generally meet somewhere in the local community, and their membership is open not just to students, but to anyone in that community. All right, so when we look in a little bit closer at the club level and in how this dynamic might play out, you typically have two different roles for Rotaract at the district level, and those are the district Rotaract chair and the district Rotaract representative. And they really work together as equal partners to serve clubs, so to serve you all as incoming club leaders of Rotary, to make sure that every goal, every vision that you have related to Rotaract can be carried out with a support network in place at the district level. So your district Rotaract chair, or the DRC, if you're looking for another acronym, is typically a Rotarian. They are the co-chair of the committee, and their role is really to liaise between Rotary clubs who might not yet engage with Rotaract and Rotaract clubs. Similarly, on the other side of that dynamic, you have the district Rotaract representative. So they are also the co-chair of the committee. They're usually elected by the other Rotaract clubs in the district, and their role is really on the other side of that relationship. They liaise between the district committee and all of the Rotaract clubs. So together, these roles work with the district leaders, with club leaders, to maintain records of Rotaract, help put programming in place at the district and the club level to support leadership development, meaningful community service opportunities, and most importantly, to conduct needs assessment with you all as Rotary Club leaders to help figure out what your goals might be for Rotaract, what are some of the obstacles that you envision that are preventing you from reaching those goals, or how could your goals be stronger? So that is really the role of these district levels support opportunities to therefore help you as club leaders. And the next part, just taking this a step further, is making sure that there's meaningful dialogue at the district and the club level about how to engage Rotaract. So, if we look over here on the left-hand side, initially it's just about engaging, right? Talking with Rotaractors, talking with other Rotarians who might be passionate about building a Rotaract program, and engaging their perspective effectively in all of the areas that we know and love about Rotary, right? Rotary Foundation, public image, membership, etc. Bringing them into that conversation, not just to talk about Rotaract, but to lend their unique skill sets, their individual journeys, ideas, and experiences that might be helpful to the sustaining of Rotary in your district and in your club. In the second, we have this idea of train the trainer, which is really where, Rotarians in the district at the club level embrace younger professionals, college student, and in a collaborative feedback-based opportunity where, you as a Rotarian are training and mentoring that individual in the key areas of Rotary, being a service-oriented leader, so that they may in turn turn around and train their peers and other individuals we might like to have in Rotary one day. And then, of course, you have your district level opportunities for support, training, and development. So one thing I also wanted to clarify before we get into the latter half of our time together is that there are many different opportunities to engage Rotaract. And these are some of the key ones. We've done a lot of research, a lot of polling of Rotaractors and Rotarians across our zones, just kind of thinking about, what is it that's unique in each of these experiences and why is there a value in each one? So university Rotaract clubs, they can typically be a little bit more difficult to start. And the turnover is quick, right? Because you have Rotaractors graduating, and in some cases, they're there 2, 3, 4 years, depending on the type of institution. But really, that having that foundation as a university Rotaractor is key to really introducing the concept of leadership through the empowerment of others, being a service-minded thinker, and everything that comes with the foundation of Rotary. And then when we come to community Rotaract clubs, that's really more about improving and fine-tuning some of those skill sets that we might have learned as college students or as early career professionals. And then we come to what we all are probably very familiar with, this concept of satellite Rotary clubs. And the reason I wanted to mention this is because we receive a lot of feedback that our young professionals are very interested in this opportunity because it mirrors a community-based Rotaract club. But the crux that it really keeps this club together is a strong connection to their Rotary partner, which sounds exactly like what we've been talking about related to Rotaract and Rotary dynamics. So just for the sake of clarifying this, I wanted to put all of these options out on the table. There's value in every single one of them. They all bring something unique to the table and are all worth considering as incoming leaders of your Rotary Club. So as we enter into the last part of our time together today, I wanted to touch on Elevate Rotaract. We've talked about that as we've walked through the slides a little bit. So what exactly does that mean? Well, if you follow the recent Council on Legislation's past President Barry introduced a piece of legislation at the last one related to making Rotaractors equal partners within Rotary. So in other words, Rotaract is effectively a membership type or a membership channel within our family of Rotary. So while they are not Rotarians, it is a different and a unique experience within Rotary that does provide Rotaractors and the equal opportunity to serve, to give, and to experience the magic of our organization. So essentially what this means is that Rotaractors have increased access to the Rotary Foundation. So as club leaders, this is exciting for you because it gives you, another community partner, another enhancement to global or district grants that you might be working on. There is a new certificate to recognize Rotaractors giving to the foundation to encourage that both in the short and the long term. So that's very exciting. And then, of course, we have greater access to training. So we'll talk about this in a little bit, but Rotaractors are being included more frequently now at district, zone, and even club level leadership opportunities, which is exciting because we're giving Rotaractors that equal access and that equal opportunity to grow as members of the Rotary family. And the last point here is about increased representation. We have Rotaractors now serving at every level of the district team, lending their unique experiences and points of view, every level of the club and every level of the zone too, it's been really exciting to see that progress. So I just wanted to put this in here as a frame of reference and something to keep in mind as club presidents. This is our goal because through the elevation of Rotaract, we're actually elevating Rotary and increasing our relevance as an organization. So most importantly, probably the most important question of our time together this morning, how does this apply to you guys as incoming leaders? Well, there are a couple of things that I ask that you keep in mind as you head into your year. First and foremost, engage with Ascension. We would love to talk with you more about your ideas as Rotarians, your reservations, some of the things you're excited about related to Rotaract, and how we might support you within that. In addition, we encourage you to keep Rotaract representation in mind. Even if your club doesn't currently work with the Rotaract Club and you might be a year or so off from considering partnering with the Rotaract Club, we would encourage you to seek out other community-based local organizations center around young professionals to start having that dynamic and start having that discussion and allowing them to engage with the vision of your Rotary Club. Of course, if you are working with Rotaract currently, we would just encourage you to make a really robust communication plan for your partnership. And that is something that Ascension can guide you through. We have a couple of templates, but setting those communication goals and standards for your partnership early are key. Another thing I just wanted to throw in here as a tip, we've seen great success with Rotaractors being a non-voting member of the Rotary Club board and vice versa to really allow for that leadership experience in that collaboration. Last but not least, we encourage you to get creative, right? So Rotary has really given us a great amount of freedom over the last 6 years or so to redefine what it means to be a Rotarian, to meet people on their terms related to Rotaract, engaging young professionals, and really just engaging different audiences in general in Rotary. So as club presidents, I encourage you to embrace that idea and just think about how you can creatively engage a different audience during your year as president. So I'm sure you guys have been just waiting on the edge of your seats the whole time when I mentioned the opportunity to get to know President Holger a little bit better. But with that, I'd like to introduce and just share with you all the official event that we have coming up May 14th through 16th of this year. So this will be the Presidential Conference Series for the United States. So each year, the President of Rotary International typically has some sort of conference series. And for this year, we're so excited because President Holger has decided to focus on building meaningful relationships between Rotaractors and Rotarians. So he selected 3 host sites from around the Rotary world to plan, implement, and eventually put on one of these conferences. So we were selected as Ascension in partnership with Zone 33 to host the United States conference. So we could not be more excited. We would love to have you all attend. Just to give you a little bit of a preview of the program, the event is being done fully in partnership with Zone 33. So we really wanted to show that Rotaractors and Rotarians can work together as equal partners, even at the zone level, to plan and implement large-scale events. So something unique to look forward to. Each of the sessions are actually being developed and presented by Rotaract and Rotarians as co-presenters. So every session will have a Rotaract voice and a Rotary voice working together. There will also be a collaborative virtual service project in the form of a virtual fundraiser supporting the Rotary Foundation. Again, going back to that idea of Rotaractors and Rotarians building up the foundation together. We will have speakers from all over the world. We have a Peace Fellow. We have past President Barry. Of course, President Hoger will be there as well. So we really have that opportunity for global reach and global connection. There will be a problem-solving session where you as Rotarians will actually get to work with Rotaractors from around the world to develop, present, and pitch your solution to a complex Rotary or a complex community issue. So we're really trying to emphasize meaningful virtual opportunities for Rotaractors and Rotarians to connect and make a difference during this time of COVID-19. So we're very excited. Long story short, we would love to have you all attend. You can find the registration online. I'm happy to link that over in the chat. I, of course, I'll show you guys my email as well in case you'd like to get in touch with me, but we would love to have you all attend as well as your networks and your clubs. So the event is open to all Rotaractors and Rotarians, and we would love to have your support and your voice. So with that, I will go ahead and say thank you. Thank you so much for allowing me to share a little bit of my story, a little bit of our experience as Ascension. And we truly hope that we'll have the opportunity to engage with each of you and your clubs as we head into this new Rotary year. So thank you guys so much.
Thank you, Alex. That was terrific. I like the opener to it. We are the Rotary family. We are in this together. We don't have a lot of time for questions, but I do have one for you. What really is the ideal Rotaract partnership looking like?
Yeah, thank you, Jim. Great question. I think the ideal Rotary-Rotaract partnership is really centered around this idea of elevation, and not just the elevation of Rotaract, but also the elevation of us as Rotarians. I think it is based on the foundation of us truly and authentically getting to know who we are as individuals, both within and beyond Rotary, what makes us similar, and more importantly, what makes us different, and how we can utilize those unique differences to create lasting change together. So.
Great. And I'll put in one other plug, since the presidential conference is coming up and Zone 33 is involved in that at the very top of it. We are in fact part of Zone 33 right here with the 3 districts here in PET. So we're looking forward to that. So thank you so much for your work on that, and thanks for sharing your time with us this morning.
Thank you.